Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching Access Hockey MI. We got a request to talk about two 2017 draft picks that the Detroit Red Wings had got, so we're going to talk about them today. They are Malte Setkov and Kasper Kotkansalo. And we're just going to get into it, so let's go.
We appreciate requests like that, by the way, too, because with off-season content, obviously we can get it. We can always talk hockey, but it's nice when you guys are engaging with us.
Well, because then we know what you want to hear, and it's just helpful.
And it's right along the lines of what we like talking about anyway.
Love it.
So Setkov and Kotkansalo were both drafted in 2017. They were only a handful of picks apart, both very similar as far as stature goes. Setkov, he was 2017, he was 100th overall, so that's still pretty high. I want to say that was the 4th round. 202 pounds right now, last weigh-in, 6'7". So
that's big.
Yeah, he's a big dude. So put it in perspective, he's an inch taller than Michael Rasmussen.
That's big.
It's huge.
That's huge.
Yeah, big defenseman. And that season, too, in the last couple seasons, we've noticed that the team, when Kenny Holland had it and now that Steve Yzerman has it, they're drafting bigger.
Yeah.
And I think the prospect pool in general is just getting much larger, which is great.
That is good.
But with Setkov, he's been over in the SHL playing in Sweden. He is a Dane, which is kind of unique. We don't have too many Danes in the league. But he's been playing in Sweden at their second tier level, kind of alternating between the SHL and Allsvenskan. Right now he's with... Thank you.
Nice. I should have slipped that in there. That was great.
That's their AHL, basically. So he's with the Kristianstads IK, which that's their second tier. And after half the season with the SHL being sent back to them, in 25 games played, he had 10 points. And he had the same when he was up at top with the SHL. So he's pretty consistent regardless of where he's at. One of the biggest things for him, though, that's going to be playing in his favor is the fact that he is such a big body. He uses it pretty well. We've seen with other prospects where their big body is kind of almost like their Achilles heel. Yeah, because there's so much to move around.
Yeah.
Like we've seen with Soderblom, because he's huge too. So kind of similar in that way, but over the last couple seasons, it seems like he's used that to his advantage, and it's become really good for him, and he's become very consistent in the EuroLeague.
And he's even said in interviews that, being sent from the SHL, so the top tier, to the second tier wasn't ideal, and he felt like it would have been nicer if he got a whole season with the SHL, just because it is better development. You're going to be playing against different guys, of course, and it is the best league in Sweden, so it's kind of a confidence boost, too, if you can stick with an SHL team. But his big body has been a great advantage for him. And so he's been really patient with his plays, and he uses his big body in that way. And he's been growing in his passing abilities and just being able to see the play on the ice, being able to, he's really, now, I don't want to say an agitator, but he's really in your face when he's defending. And I like to see that in a big defenseman, just because if you're going to annoy the guy that's trying to get the puck away from you, it's going to be a good thing, just because you're going to be able, you're going to be able to get under his skin to get the puck from him, and that reach has got to just be. Can you imagine being a forward and you see this guy 6'7" and his sticks
like 8 feet away and he still gets the puck?
The guy's probably like, I don't know how to get through that.
I give up.
His just ability to pass and his ability to make those plays. He's got a really good shot, and over the years has improved in his chances and making sure that he can make that play before taking a shot that might lead to a turnover, something like that. But as far as defensive ability, sticking with the blue line, being able to keep pucks in the zone, he's been really good at improving in that.
Yeah, that's something that's been really good for him. And scouting reports will show, especially for Setkov, I hate to keep reiterating the big body thing, but again, it's a blessing and a curse for a lot of these kids. He's 21 years old, so he's older. He's learned how to utilize it, but with that too, the reflexes aren't exactly necessarily as quick as they could be. So that's one thing he's been working on, where, getting that first pass and the setup, he's great at. But if, the bam plays really quick stuff, he's got to get a little bit more refined in that. And that's something that, with these improved chances, he's been getting. So more penalty kill, more power play opportunities where it's a lot faster pace. He's been getting a lot better at thinking a few more shots ahead and really owning that defensive position and having a little bit of forethought there. So that's been great for Setkov. So I think in the next season or two, he's going to hopefully make some even bigger strides.
And this is his last, 2021 is going to be his last signed year as of right now with the league he's at. So it's going to be a real important year for him to show that he has stepped up, as there are, and we'll talk about this a little later, there are plenty of other prospects who are getting to the more ready stage. So if these guys can't get there quicker, they're going to lose a little bit on the chances and might stay in Europe for a little longer than maybe they wanted to.
Every inch matters from here on out.
Yeah. So the next guy would be Kasper Kotkansalo, who's also a defenseman, and he's been playing with Boston University for the last 3 years. So this will be 2021, will be his senior year at Boston University. He's also he's 6'2", and he's 198 pounds. It's pretty big, but when it's measured up against Setkov, 6'7".
That's enormous. I've been hitting my head on door frames.
So Kotkansalo was drafted in 2017 as well, 71st overall, so right before Setkov. And like I said, he's been with Boston University last season. Boston University did not have the best season. Yeah. He admitted that, as well as the team just
collectively.
They didn't do the greatest. He did, however, get 8 points in 34 games played, so that's not terrible for a defenseman.
Still production.
Still a way to develop, still a way to get out there and get used to the ice, basically. So that's kind of what he's been at.
With him, though, too, and you see it in interviews, and the great thing about players, they can identify exactly where they went wrong and what they need to do, ideally, and that's a good mark of maturity for him.
They're the only people who can really know what is hindering them sometimes. Like,
coaches can tell you until they're blue in the face.
Trainers can. Personal trainers can. Your equipment, you just don't. You're the only one that can really sometimes point out what changes. You need to do.
Exactly. And with him, he knows what he has to do going forward. And it's been said, he's got a shot from anywhere. He's already got that kind of nailed down where he's a risk taker when it comes to shots, but he knows he can take it. So that's great for him. But what he really needs to work on now is focusing on his kind of smaller game, and by that I mean his more immediate surroundings. He's kind of a big thinker, take the shot, get the goal, but he needs to focus on his edges, his quicker feet, and being a little bit more mobile in tighter corners. And he knows that's something that was kind of a deterrence for him this last season, where he knows he's got to step up on and work on.
Yeah, so that brings to the main point of not like his hindrance in development, but he believes and has admitted his mental game is going to be the biggest deterrence probably to development, just because if you're in your own head, if you're stuck in your own head, you're not going to fulfill the duties that you need to on the ice because you're too consumed.
And you see it all the time when players, they mentally just get checked out and so frustrated they cannot do what they normally can do.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be a big deal. If he doesn't have a super great year this year, I could see him getting looked over for more favorable prospects that are ready. That's the same for both these guys. Yeah. I do think, we have a pretty saturated prospect pool right now, which
there's
is
going to
great.
Be a big batch coming up.
Yeah, it's super great though, because they're all going to be really talented players. So we've just got to see kind of what they both do with this year to see where they're going to end up in the future.
With that, and the Red Wings as a whole, and like Jenae said, we do have a lot of younger prospects. It is saturated, but that happens every single year with the draft. We always get a very good pool. In these last 2 or 3 seasons, we've scored big.
Yeah, these are guys, again, this is 2017 draft year, so it's 2020 right now, so they've been waiting in the wing, trying to get their development going.
Yep, and they've been working tirelessly, really, and kind of under the radar. But as a whole, they are still probably realistically a couple seasons out of development, and that's something that we kind of preach at you guys too, where it's not an overnight thing. The NCAA circuit and even over in the Europe circuits, it does take time to be ready for the AHL and NHL level. And it's not to say that they're not good enough. It's just there's a few little pieces that have to fall into place before they get entries.
And we've also said that just because we draft them doesn't always mean they end up with that team. So
kind of the harsh reality of drafting.
Yeah, it's super great that they get drafted, but it doesn't always mean you get an entry deal. That's we've seen a few just in the past from last year's over these guys who have been developing. So I think it really is just a matter of waiting in the wing, trying to figure out where management wants you placed, trying to see where your development is at. Yep. And I think, though, these two defensive guys are going to be good in the future for sure. Not 100% certain if they'll end up being with the Red Wings just because of the defense that we have coming up, that we've got right now, that's developing now. But it is encouraging, and I think if we unload maybe a couple that we've got now, we could make room for some talent like this.
And it sounds terrible to say it, but we do have some good trade bait. So if these are guys, and like in Cansalo's situation, just to kind of reiterate, when you do the NCAA route, the team has those 4 seasons to really decide what to do with you. Whereas if you end up in a major junior or something like that, you've got 2 seasons to really decide. So the fact that he's been in college these 4 seasons has been a blessing and a curse for him, because it's either stretching that time out where he's kind of getting lost because he's not being a superstar right now, or he's using it as perfect timing and the team sees that. So it's just a matter of what the team wants to do with that. And there's so many other defensemen, like he's Finnish, and so another Finnish counterpart of his would be Antti Tuomisto, who we've talked about. incredible performer. He's a very talented player, so when you kind of compare him side by side, which one as a team would fit better into the long-term
That's
plan.
what management's going to do, and that's what they're going to have to do. So,
and it's not downplaying these guys.
No,
they're both very good players.
Yeah, they're great players, and where they're at is going to be great for development, just because Boston is a great college for development, as well as any of the European leagues. I feel like they just produce some of the best players.
I have nothing bad to say about Euro leagues.
They're just great. Thanks so much for helping us develop. But
appreciate it.
So that's kind of our take on Setkov and Kotkansalo. Let us know in the comments what you think about these two, if you forgot about them, or if they've been someone that you're watching and what you think about them. We really appreciate it, as always, all of you.
Every last one of you.
Yeah, for watching our videos and for just supporting our dream to talk hockey. So
I think I'd call it a mission.
Talk hockey to everyone, you know.
We want you people to know about the little people and the teams.
Yeah, so thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.